aunt, who lived in California, urged us to come to California. On the way out here, we had a trailer behind the car. Some way, somehow, it caught fire and burned everything we had. For 3 years, we traveled and with the fruit harvest. We lived in some of those camps.
I remember us kids going out in the little street and scraping tar out of it so we could chew it as gum.
In 1932, I went with my grandma and my grandpa to a camp meeting. We slept in the horses' stalls. That was to save money because there wasn't any.
My father, since we didn't have any wood, he got rubber tires to burn in the fireplace.
We lived on a farm, and when we butchered hogs, we would share them with our neighbors and any other food that we grew. We even made our own soap and did our laundry outside because we couldn't afford electricity.
But we lived close to a railroad track in Delano, and the hobos were always coming to our house. And Mama would always have work for them to do in the garden, set them out a large plate of food out on the back step.
Born in 1934, my mama died in 38. And then it meant we children had to go to the orphanage. Then in 1940, I went to a big orphanage in Munich. There were 500 girls and 500 boys, and it was a rowdy bunch. So, but there was always enough food, and in the morning we only got coffee, which was wonderful, and a piece of bread. Thank God for that.
We had a lot of bread and gravy. No meat in the gravy, but we had bread and gravy. I remember going to school, and I turned my socks around so that the holes in my heels didn't show and kids wouldn't laugh at me.
The hobos would come to the house and ask if there was something they could do to work for food. Of course, there was always grounds to be raked or stalls to be cleaned out or something. They were strictly people just going from one place to another looking for work.
My dad was a teaching principal in those years, and I got scarlet fever, and of course we were quarantined, which meant Daddy could not live with us. And I remember some other friends from the church allowed him to live with them so he wouldn't have to pay rent or whatever to be away from us.
My father had money in the bank that totally lost. It was our neighbors that gave us support, and it seemed very happy. We all seemed to give support to one another, and we weren't alone. Everyone else was in sort of the same boat.
My grandparents had money in the bank and they lost it, and so they came to live with us.
We worked together there. We were picked peaches, Dad hauled them, Mom picked them, I and my brother graded them. We lived in a tent house. No facilities available. And after we worked for a day, we would go to the irrigation canal, get into the canal to get the peach fuzz off of us and try to get ourselves halfway clean.
When we came to California, we had the pleasure of moving in with 7 adults, and there were 7 of us in a 3-bedroom home with 1 bath. And actually, we took our sheets, my 2 sisters and I took our sheets and put them on my aunt and uncle's bed when they went to work at midnight because they worked the graveyard shift.
My father worked at Caterpillar Tractor Company in Peoria, and we lived in a little house that's poorly wired, and a surge of electricity burned our house down. Well, that turned out to be the best Christmas we ever had. The ladies group of Caterpillar Tractors adopted our family, took us to the department store and outfitted us in clothes, neighbors around would have showers and bring a wash tub full of groceries to our house. And we really lived pretty high. I remember that very, very well. The Lord took care of us.
My dad had a 20-acre farm, and he couldn't water the fields because he didn't have the money to pay for PG&E. And I happened to have a job, $60 a month. So when I got paid, I'd go pay PG&E so Dad could water his yard, his old field.
Barbara Yeager tells this story. In 1935, my teenage brother got polio, and the farmers around us came in at night and helped. He would cry in pain all night long, but they would rub his legs and that would help. All the farmers helped bring in each other's harvest. They would follow the thrashing machines from farm to farm. And when our milk cow went dry, another family loaned us a cow. It's what people did. They helped each other.